you guys might get mad at me because it's a little over dramatic.
Hey fiddlers, welcome to today's fiddle video. Today we're going to be learning 3 variations on the classic beautiful melody Derriere, which is also known as Danny Boy. I'll walk you through a simpler sort of novice variation, an intermediate variation, and a slightly more complex advanced variation. If you'd like sheet music for all 3 of these variations, you'll find a link for that in the description. I also taught the basic melody and a different variation of Danny Boy in another tutorial video, and I will link to that in the description as well. All right, let's go ahead and learn the variations. All right, starting out with our simpler, more novice variation, here's what the first half of the tune is gonna sound like. In this variation, we're doing 2 basic things. We are taking out notes and we are adding notes to the tune. One of the nice things about variations is they can kind of be whatever you want, so you could just make the tune simpler and that can be a variation. So in the first couple phrases of the tune, that's what we're doing. We're just kind of simplifying it. We're taking out some of the notes, we're extending some of the notes, but we're following the arc of the melody. So the first phrase, instead of doing this, is going to move around a little bit less. So it's going to go like this. So we're replacing these quarter notes with just these 2 half notes. In the next phrase, we're kind of doing the same thing. The normal melody would go, but instead we're going, again, all that is taking some quarter notes, turning them into half notes, and just following the arc of the melody there. In the next phrase, though, we're going to do the opposite. So the normal melody would sound like this. But this time we are adding notes in. We're making it a little busier. We're dividing some of those longer notes into quarter notes and following the arc of the melody with those quarter notes. So we're going like this. So instead of just holding that, we're going. And instead of, we're going. And we're playing the last phrase normally. So now here's what the second half of the novice variation will sound like. Again, for the first couple phrases, we're just leaving out some notes. Instead of this, replacing these quarter notes with these half notes. same idea in the next phrase. Instead of replacing with moving into the last little bit of the tune, we are going to add some notes here, but we're going to keep that big dramatic note of the tune, the one that everyone waits for. We're going to keep that nice and long and drawn out and not mess with it. Other than that, we can go to town. So instead of this, we're going to go like this. Keeping that note. And then we just played the last phrase normally. All right, let's try playing through the entire Novice Variation. That's our Novice Variation. Let's level up and try the Intermediate Variation. We're doing two things in this variation. We're going up an octave and playing a higher version of the melody for part of the tune, and then we're also going to add some double stops and some triple stops. So it's kind of two things, it's kind of three things. The bat in phrase one, we are playing the melody up an octave, which just means we are starting it 8 notes above the normal melody in a way. So if we're starting the melody on an A down here, which is your first finger on the G string, we're going to go from that note 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 up to the open A. And that's where we're going to start the melody. So instead of, we're going. We're also adding some double stops in there, so we're going to go like this. So you're keeping that third finger on the A string, and you're playing some notes above it, the open E, and the first finger on E, and then E again, and then that first finger again, and then you just play the melody without double stops. Now we go back to the normal octave for the melody, also with some double stops. Here all we're doing is we're playing that open D as sort of a drone note under the notes that are played on the A string. Phrase 3 is exactly the same as phrase 1. And the last phrase is back to the normal octave that the melody is in, but we're going to play the open A as a drone above those notes. on, here's what the second half of that variation will sound like. This is the part of the tune where the triple stops come in. So here's the first phrase. So it's just the normal melody, but with the triple stop thrown in. So we're gonna go. And then right here, we've got an open G, open D, and the second finger on the A. You're gonna kind of roll the bow across those. Next phrase has kind of an interesting one. A little bit of a tricky one there. So we go, and the triple stop comes in right here on that third finger note. Below it, we're gonna play the second finger on the G string and second finger on the D string as well. So you kind of put it between those two strings and roll across again. So it's 2, 2, 3. Then we've got our open G, open D, second finger on A. Next phrase, we've got our last triple stop of the tune. And of course, it's on this note. So it's open D, open A, first finger on E. And we'll have some double stops in that final phrase. So we start out with just the melody. Then right here, we play the open D with the open A. And then for the next few notes on the D string, we're gonna play the open A above that. And let's try playing that entire intermediate variation. Okay, so moving on to our final variation, the advanced one. This is what the first half of it will sound like. This variation incorporates elements of the first two. We are taking out notes sometimes, we are adding notes sometimes, we have double stops, we're switching octaves, and we're also going to be adding some ornamentation. So here we go. Here's the first phrase of the variation. All right, so from the first variation, we're taking that simplified version of the melody. So instead of, we've got those half notes taking the place of some quarter notes. Then we're stealing the idea of playing up an octave from the second variation. We're also including some double stops, though they are slightly different because we want to accommodate the change in the melody. We are keeping that third finger down for the first few notes that have double stops. But then here we're playing a single note and then playing double stops with the open A below. And we're going to throw in some grace notes at the very beginning as well. So going from the open A to the third finger, we're going to throw in a first and second finger leading to the third finger. So here's what we've got. Here's where you guys might get mad at me because it's a little over dramatic, but we're going to add some notes and we're going to sort of scoop the melody down and then go back up. It's going to go like this. So you're going to start with the last note of phrase 1, that first finger on the A string, and it's going to go like this. And that leads into phrase 2, which goes like this. We're staying up the octave, we're simplifying the melody a little bit, taking out some quarter notes, so doing instead of. And we're double stopping with an open A drone beneath those last 3 notes. So that whole last phrase there is. Phrase 3 will sound like this. So again, staying up the octave, no double stops this time. We're changing the melody a little bit, adding some quarter notes in where we would normally have a long note. And we've got some grace notes. So we have that same grace note ornament we had at the beginning. And then right here, there's another one that comes into play. This one is called a waterfall. And what you're gonna do is you're going from your first finger to the open string. You're going to add 2 little grace notes in between. You're going to play 1, then you have 2, 1 really quickly, and then open E. So we've got, and then we play just the normal melody here, but up the octave. And here we have a fun little melodic change plus a waterfall. This is what it'll sound like. This time the waterfall is between that low second finger on the E string and the first finger on the E string. So you're going to go 2, 3, 2, 1 really quickly. That whole phrase once more. Last phrase, we're going to work our way down to the normal octave in which the tune is played. You can add a slide in there. On this second finger note, just start the note about a half step lower than you want to end up and slide up to it. Okay, here's what the B part variation is going to sound like. starting out an octave below where the melody usually would be. Instead of, we're going, and we're keeping that first finger on the G string, so we get that lovely double stop. We continue with the double stops after that. We're gonna go, so we're playing the melody on the A string now, normal octave, but with the D string droning below. And then we're gonna do a triple stop with the open strings, the open G and D strings, and that second finger. And just continue playing on both the D and A strings through the rest of the phrase. Then here's what the second phrase will sound like. So we're doing a little melodic variation there. After our pickup notes, we're gonna play the third finger on the A string to the D string, second finger on the A string, back to the D string. And here's where we're gonna have our triple stop, open G, open D, second finger on A. Going into a waterfall. And that's the phrase. The next phrase, the big moment of the tune, will go like this. We're gonna go. And we're also gonna add some ornamentation in there. After we play, right here we're gonna play a little quick E string grace note going to your first finger. Then we're gonna play a waterfall from that first finger to the open E. So putting that together, it goes, there's that E string grace note to the first finger and then a waterfall. Then the normal melody, thank goodness. But we're gonna add a couple notes at the end. We're gonna go, and we're gonna do those with a double stop on the open D above. Here's that whole phrase once more. And then we'll play our way to the end. So just the normal melody. But we could do that same thing we did earlier, where we play a quick open string grace note to the first finger, and then a waterfall back to the open string. That's our entire advanced variation. Let's try playing the whole thing. That does it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed exploring a few different ways of playing this tune. Again, if you'd like sheet music for all three of those variations we covered today, you'll find a link in the description for that. I also did a video tutorial on just the basic melody and another variation, and you'll find a link for that in the description as well. Thanks as always to my brother Dan Faiella for playing guitar backup for me in these videos. Have a wonderful day, happy fiddling, and I'll see you soon.